Yesterday evening, the Supreme Court turned down the Texas case and they're not going to hear it. And so obviously that's pretty terrible news for those who would like Trump to win the election. But it doesn't mean that it's the final say. It is a bad thing, and two of the justices, Alito and Clarence Thomas, supported the case. The other seven did not. Interestingly enough, it was the three judges that President Trump appointed that didn't help him out at all: Kavanaugh, Gorsuch, and Amy Coney Barrett. And the reasoning that the Supreme Court give for this ruling is that under Article 3, they're claiming that one state does not have the right basically to tell other states what to do or how to conduct their business. So regardless of how crappy the elections may have been in those four states, I guess what the Supreme Court is saying, and apparently the Constitution is, it's really not any other state's business. While we might disagree with that, there's not too much that could be done about it. So anyway, here's the scoop on that.
It's not over. The Supreme Court did turn down the Texas case. You know by now the Attorney General of Texas was suing Pennsylvania, Georgia, Michigan, Wisconsin, along with about 20 other states. We have the order issued just a few minutes ago. I'll read it for you, but I want to emphasize before I do, we have the situation in Pennsylvania that has not been settled. We have Georgia that has not been settled. We have Michigan that has not been settled, independent of this lawsuit from Texas. The state of Texas's motion for leave to file a bill of complaint is denied for lack of standing under Article 3 of the Constitution. Texas has not demonstrated a judicially cognizable interest in the manner in which another state conducts its elections.
In Michigan, there's a lawsuit that is still very alive where the Dominion machines that were taken out of that county that went for Biden, even though it's a deep red county, they have done the forensic analysis on those machines, and apparently they have some results that they'd like to release to the public soon, and that alone tells me that maybe there's some results that are going to be favorable to the Trump camp. Let's check it out.
I filed a lawsuit. I was able to get an order from the court to allow my forensic team to examine the software used by Dominion. We got some results today, and this afternoon I filed an emergency motion to allow us to release those results to the American public and to the Michigan legislature.
Yes.
So the very fact that they want to release those to the public tells me that they are going to be something that people who support Trump are going to want to see. So the case in Pennsylvania is a very strong one against this Act 77, and I think it's pretty clear that there's constitutional problems. The big question is the Supreme Court going to take this case up? The Supreme Court seems to me to be wanting to wash their hands of this. They want no part of it. They want to come out of this as clean as they possibly can. But I don't really think that history necessarily sides with the side of cowardice. If you look back to the time before the Civil War, there was about 20 years of presidents that kept kicking the can down the road and kicking the can down the road because they was afraid of what might happen. And I really believe that's the situation we're in right now. Is at this point, they've been feeding us the narrative that Biden is the president-elect, and that being the case, if it were to change now, I mean, the kind of havoc that would be wreaked would just be a horrible, horrible thing. And I think that's about where we're at. But let's see what Dershowitz has to say about the Pennsylvania case.
I want to go to Pennsylvania. Now, Pennsylvania, to me, as you mentioned, that's still alive. It was erroneously reported that it was over. The Pennsylvania...
No, they will win Pennsylvania. I think the Trump administration will win the Pennsylvania lawsuit if the court decides to take it. The law is on their side on that issue. The Supreme Court is not going to go around reversing an election unless it is clear beyond dispute.
So the Supreme Court in Wisconsin has agreed to hear the Trump election challenge, and arguments are set for today. The lower courts had rejected Trump's campaign request to throw out tens of thousands of ballots in Dane and Milwaukee counties. So the Democratic strongholds in Wisconsin has tens of thousands of ballots that are being challenged, and this arguments are going to be today. The decision came hours after a lower court had rejected the Trump request to invalidate the state's certification of Joe Biden as the winner, and the president's legal team skipped the state appeals. The campaign wants to throw out a large number of ballots in Milwaukee and Dane counties, as we've probably heard, because these are clearly corrupted. And so we're going to see what the Wisconsin Supreme Court has to say about this. And of course, there's Arizona, where Sidney Powell has her Kraken music queued up, and she's looking to go all the way to the Supreme Court. Now, this isn't anything that's been taken on by the Supreme Court, and at this point, I would hold absolutely no confidence in the Supreme Court whatsoever that they're going to take any case regardless of its merit. It just looks like to me that they, by not taking this Texas case, have said, hey guys, we're out of this game. We would like for you to go elsewhere and have somebody else talk about this. We don't want to come down on the wrong side of history. And even though by rejecting the Texas case, they may very well come down on the wrong side of history. What I can see in a couple of years, 3 years from now, we're going to be seeing documentaries and movies about this election, about the things that are going to come out are going to be astonishing, as though they're not crazy enough. And so we have a case in Arizona. We clearly have a case today in Wisconsin. In Michigan, we still have the Dominion case. In Pennsylvania, there's still the case sitting for the Supreme Court to hear, if they're going to have anything to do with that. And of course, Georgia, the one that's really probably the most questionable of all of these states. It's starting to look like to me that Kemp's ties to China and really Georgia's ties to China as being their #1 trade partner. And I really don't think they're wanting to go against Biden. Biden is a big friend of China. And so I think that Georgia is going to resist as hard as they can. And it's hard to see much good coming out of Georgia, even though the evidence there is probably the most overwhelming. Alrighty, so that's about where we're at for today. I hope you guys have a good one. I'll talk to you in a while.